back with some Bcrawl, a fork of DCSS. Probably superior to mainline by now, in a lot of ways. Merry Christmas to you as well, Anani Badger. It's been a good little while since I've streamed. Been out of town and taking care of some family stuff, and a couple other things. However, I do have this run sitting around, which was a request run from Voice of Inky. Apologies to Voice of Inky for taking so long to finish it, but we may be able to do that tonight. We had a nice little start the last time we played. Looks like we have finished Lair, and we have not been to Orc yet. Haven't even discovered it. I see a little oh no here in Lair 3. If I recall correctly, I was fooling around with a Staff of Chaos, which was not optimal, but was exciting. And I turned the pig lady Kirky into a dragon, who then proceeded to transform into increasingly more terrifying dragons. So that was worth putting an oh no in my notes. Perhaps we'll be careful and not fight that. We are doing the Joseph Cosplay Challenge from, I believe it's crawlcosplay.com, which is a revised version of, I think, the first cosplay challenge they ever made. So we're following the rules, which are we can only train staves, slings, and fighting when it comes to weapon skills. We are not allowed to use a shield, so as a result, I'm using staff, since a sling would be kind of silly without a shield. I cannot cast any magic other than one single solitary spell, which I have determined will be Regeneration, because it's a really nice spell, and it actually exists in Bcrawl. Hey, Crystal Pepsi, what's up, man? So I can cast Regeneration as much as I want, it's the only spell I can ever cast. We're also going to do the bonus challenges, which we're going to win the game with 10,000 in gold at least, which is easy when you're Gozag, and we are going to get the Golden Rune from Tomb. So, game is pretty straightforward at this point. We just basically need to survive, gain power, gather gold, and probably bribe our way through Tomb, if we're going to do that without doing the rest of Extended, which I would very much prefer not to do the rest of Extended if I can avoid it. Although I'm probably going to have to farm a little bit of gold. Is this a hold tab and win game? We're not quite to that point. We're pretty close, though. Without a shield, you're never really going to be a hold tab and win kind of character, so the lack of a shield pretty much puts us at risk no matter what. Also, I'm using this whip. There's no rule against using something that's not a staff or a sling. There's a rule against training it, and whips happen to be cross-trained off of staves. We haven't trained maces and flails at all, but we have trained staves, which means that we're using this demon whip because it was kind of crazy for me to be using chaos anyway. Anywho, whoops, let's look for MR+. Looks like there's nothing. Let's look for body armor. Okay, so there's a couple pieces of body armor that could be MR+. Do we have Remove Curse? Yeah, we have 11 scrolls of Remove Curse, so let's just pick these up and wear them. That's cursed. So we'll take that off. We'll wear our scale mail again. I'm just looking for MR+. Where did I find the Demon Whip? I feel like I found that on Lair 6. I found it at an ice cave, which I think was in Lair 6. That is a robe of fire resistance. Alright, no such luck. No body armors with MR+. No jewelry that's unidentified in a shop or anything like that. If I wanted to be cute, we could purchase a shop right now with Gozag. Let's see, there's Shoals and Spider Nest. Or we could just go into Orc and roll the dice, which is a bit of a crapshoot on account of the fact that Mr. Orc Sorcerer has a good 43% chance to paralyze me. I think what I'm going to do... So I'm going to go back to the dungeon, and we're just going to finish out the dungeon, which is something of a risky proposition, I suppose. Hello. We have resistances. We're good. Whoops. Due to our lack of MR, normally I wouldn't do the rest of dungeon, but number one, this is not a streak game. Number two, hello, Lamp of Fire. Number two, we're very strong. I'm not too worried about getting paralyzed. I'd be more I'd be more concerned about getting paralyzed in Orc than Dungeon. Obviously, there's guaranteed sorcerers there. There's only a chance of wizards or something showing up in Dungeon. And the layout is such that it's just kind of safer for me to do this. Also, we have a couple blink scrolls, so I am convinced we aren't gonna die. Ooh, I am fainting. We may have to buy a ration shop. All this melee in Bcrawl, turns out melee actually makes you hungrier in Bcrawl, so Gozag characters have a bit of a harder time, which is fine. Gozag honestly kind of needed a nerf. Okay, there's a cloak of poison resist. That's kind of useful, I guess. Our current cloak is a cloak of invisibility, which I'm mainly just using for the fact that it's +2. However, I think I'm going to drop this quarterstaff. I think I am going to buy this cloak of poison resist. Having that is just nice, especially... I'll drop that cloak of cold resist. That's nice, but I don't need it. Having poison resist is just nice because we are probably going to be going into Spider Nest soon, and I certainly don't want to have to use the staff of chaos and our poise just to get our poise. Pair of ruined gloves. Well, that's +1. Okay, another shop. We have a ring of our poise. That's int -5 and plus blank. I can live without that. Sadly, in this whole shop of jewelry, no magic resist. Oh well. We're training a lot of things right now, which is probably suboptimal, but that's okay. I think we have enough defenses to do this. Yeah, we attack well above speed 1. We're okay. Normally I'd be a little bit more cautious about a two-headed ogre, but this character's pretty much in the swing of things. Hello! Oh, she turned into an unseen horror. That's obnoxious. There we go, dead. She's very, very susceptible to polymorph. Okay, technically I should pick up those curare. But this character's strong enough, I don't think I need to worry about something so fiddly. Well, actually, no, you know what, I'll play the right way. Let's pick it up. Wait a minute, am I having inventory management problems? First of all, let's drop this whip. Drop the range stuff, we really shouldn't need it. Yeah, I'll take the blowgun. It's just curare really helps in certain situations. Even in the mid-game, honestly, you know, if you have a chance to use it on something like an elf in Elven Vaults, you can really save yourself some trauma, you know, by halving the amount of actions that the enemy takes. I mean, if you think about it, elves are, especially high-level elves like Annihilators and Demonologists and stuff, are arguably the most dangerous enemies in the game, or certainly they're among the most dangerous enemies on account of the sheer amount of damage that they can, you know, spiky damage that they can blast out. So, as a result, you know, most of those guys can't actually hit you from the edge of the screen. So as a result, if you can spend a turn or two just throwing some curare at them. Now, I can't train throwing, but I could train slings if I wanted to get some cross-training on throwing. I'm not going to bother, though. You'll notice that even when I'm streaking, you'll very, very, very rarely see me train more than one weapon. Hello, we got teleported immediately down here, and we've got some really ugly shit coming our way. Okay, Ogre Mage does not have Paralyze in Bcrawl. Gozag Whip is probably one of the more unoptimal choices for Gozag on Bcrawl. Every attack costs slight hunger. Oh yeah, it's a problem, but I mean the problem is because of the conduct rules, I am limited to training staves. So until I find myself a good Lajitong, well, I could train slings instead, but I've already gone down the staves route, so I'm pretty much married to this thing. I mean, if there was like a really nice Evening Star or even a Great Mace, perhaps I might wear it for a while. But Lajitong is definitely what we're going for. Okay, let's get the hell out of here. you might be forcing me to blink. Actually, hold on. Let's just walk away. Yeah, Gozag is honestly so unbelievably overpowered because it lets you... you know, you don't even have to rely on random energy to bail you out. You just kind of let the Gozag effect kick in and they get slowed down. But hey, that was an example of how Bcrawl really keeps things exciting. I mean, I have complained probably on every single occasion that I've played Bcrawl about the staircase teleporting mechanic, but I think I'm becoming a believer. Particularly in the mid-game, it's just exciting. Like, this floor would have been sort of boring and rote almost, but simply being... I think I was teleported. Well, maybe I wasn't. I feel like I went down and I ended up over here, but maybe I just had a brain aneurysm and made that up. I was? Okay, good. But I mean, it made things more interesting, you know? I had to... I had to think about, like, gee, can I make it over here safely? Anyway, here's a great example of why I should be carrying Curare. I would not feel safe about engaging that Etten. Not 100% safe if he wasn't slowed. Okay, again, no para from this guy. We actually know what book he has. This is a freaking great place for Curare as well. Yeah, the Dire Flail is an interesting idea. Uh-oh, I'm confused. What? Oh, he does have confused. Okay, this is kind of bad, but he can't really damage me that much. I have our poise. So, the old poison's not a big deal. It's a +1 Dire Flail of Holy Wrath. I don't see a brand, so... Tony... Oh. The best hockey team I've ever played with. Joseph with a whip. Well, there's no rule against it, Adort. I haven't trained maces and flails. I am allowed to use it. It's a technicality, but that's often something you see in these cosplay challenges where you simply haven't found the best weapon. And you're not allowed to train, you know, more than one weapon typically, or one or two. But you will kind of abuse cross-training. And I do think it's... well, the thing is, I was using a Staff of Chaos for a while from my boy Youth. And then I made Kirky into a series of horrible dragons. So I decided to start using this Demon Whip when I found it in an ice cave. Although I think it might be best if we start using the Dire Flail now. Let's see. Yeah, we attack above speed 1 with it. Base damage 13. That's higher than the Demon Whip. And it does damage to things that are immune to draining. Demon Whip is honestly probably better, but maybe not. Yeah, I think I'll go with the base damage. It's not really a huge difference. Hello, Stormworm. Good to see you. I don't want to be near that Ogre Mage if I'm not at full HP. Probably shouldn't have walked towards this guy. We probably should have juked him. The whole trick where you kind of go back here and wait for him, you know? This is a problem. The lack of MR is definitely an issue. That's okay, though. There's nobody else around, so we should be fine. It's worrying because you never know what's going to come around the corner and like, whoops, it's a Cyclops. I'm going to hit you 7 times while you're petrified. Okay, we got some books. They don't matter. We're only allowed to cast 1 spell ever. Please be MR. Nope. It's a meme, Anani Badger. I've been seeing that all over the place. He is shit posting, I believe they call it. We can turn off Scrolls of Amnesia again. Rules of the challenge: we can cast 1 spell only, and I have chosen Regen. So Amnesia is not going to be necessary. Pretty good shitpost, to be honest with you. The rules are written. Yeah, go to, I believe it's crawlcosplay.com. If you just search for Joseph on there, you'll see. Basically, only train staves and slings and fighting as far as weapon skills go. Don't use a shield. I can only cast 1 spell of my choice, as many times as I want, but only 1 spell. I have to win the game with at least 10,000 in gold, and I have to get the golden rune. So it's not like too terribly difficult of a challenge, but it's a fun little thing. We were, this was a request from Voice of Inky. Okay, so this is one of my favorite tricks, and one of the reasons why I think the crawl devs have their heads completely up their assholes. The lamp of fire is so fun to use in hallways. It doesn't exist in mainline anymore, but boy, that is just a fun thing to do. The Ogre Mage blinked. Well, that tells us what his book is, I suppose. Even if it didn't trigger taking away the other books on the screen here, we know it's the Iron Shot book, so that's a little spooky. Also, Lightning Bolt. Thankfully, we do have Aralak, but let's do a little swap to Curare. There he goes. He's lightning bolting me. There we go. Curare did the job. Alright, so picking that up was definitely the right choice. I mean, I knew it was. It was just... oftentimes you'll see me doing suboptimal things just for convenience. Like, I don't really want to carry around Curare and think about using it, but, I mean, there's no reason not to, is the thing, aside from purposefully limiting yourself. I mean, there's no reason to do that. Little scoreboard API? Yeah, I don't know. I like the way their site looks, but it could be improved, I suppose. Okay, artifact boots. -1. Oh god, we can't wear these. Minus telly. If it was stasis, I might consider it. But nope. Is rage on? Yeah, rage is on. I fixed that before the stream started. One of these days, I'm going to. I am going to set it up to where it doesn't just break randomly. Hey Oren, how you doing, man? Good to see you. All right, let's pick up this armor. This could be MR, which is very, very important. Oh my god! Oh my god! All right, well that's not MR, but that is some king shit, man. Well, there's our end game. There is our end game armor. It is the plate armor of magic. They changed magic resistance in mainline, and now they're calling it willpower, which is a little bit silly. I think they should have done what Doesn't He said, which is call it hex resistance if they were really hell-bent on changing it. It's pretty stupid. I mean, I kind of get what they were going for, like a will save in D&D. Do we have a lot of Lignify? I'll buy more Lignify, why not? I will not buy Box of Beasts. I think it's experience gated in Bcrawl. Whoa! Hey, baby. How you doing? I'm gonna buy all your rations. This isn't really representative of D&D. No. Okay, we don't have Arc Cold now, which is a minor price to pay, really, for gaining all this AC, but it could... I mean, look, it was just meaningful right there. I'm shocked we didn't take more damage. We have Resist Cold in ring form. I suppose we could wear that instead of the +5 Ring of Protection. Technically, that's probably the right choice. Hope they change the tile set to be all cartoony and rename the game so we can stop pretending they care about DCSS. Well, they care about their egos, you know. That's really all the devs give a shit about these days. I don't think that they're interested in making a good game so much as they're interested in just kind of doing whatever they feel like with no regard for what the player base wants. But I think that's pretty par for the course. But hey, you know what? Play a fork, which is what I'm doing right now. Does minus telly on artifacts change the stair teleport? Yeah, that's a good question. So stasis actually exists in Bcrawl. And then minus telly also exists. I think that if I wore minus telly, I would not be subject to the stair telly. Stasis is obviously better because it's going to stop you from getting paralyzed, whereas the minus telly just kind of saves you from stair telly and screws you out of being able to use scrolls of telly and whatnot. Personally, you know, I guess we could go for the boots, and maybe if they weren't -1, I would consider it. I mean, they certainly would solve my resistance trouble, but I don't want to be without teleport. I think I'm just gonna, you can't hasten stasis. You know, that's a good point. That's that is true. I was just thinking in my current predicament where I don't have any MR plus and would really like some. You know, oh, there's some MR plus for sale actually. RF minus, RC plus, MR plus. Not worth. I'm gonna go into Orc now. I am less worried about Para because I have all of the resistances that matter, fire and negative, and I have massive AC. I also have Arlec for the scenario where the caster Orc brings up the electric demon. You know, the old paralyzed electric demon combo. Yeah, RN+++ is pretty pog, I have to say, for my amulet and my ring. It looks like we got the centaur ending with all the ranged. Kind of cool. I'm really hoping we can find a Lajatang here. I would really like that. No smite targeting from Orc Priests? Yeah, there is. Why do you mention that? The dev should add a playable centaur. Could be neat. Sorry, Pleasing Fungus is busy. He's busy putting in his dumbass armadillo ideas. Surrounded by like 5 and didn't see you get nuked by 1/3 of your HP a turn. Well, they can only do up to 17 damage per. I don't think I was surrounded by 5 priests, but I don't know. I feel like I would have noticed. Centaur was removed because Pleasing Fungus wanted to put in an armadillo, I guess. I don't know. I don't remember the justification exactly. I remember it was dumb. Most of their write-ups are really dumb and inconsistent. I think that they said that the species was like too easy or something. I mean, to me, it was incredibly interesting because it was a guy with big HP, naturally shitty defenses, okay, and incredibly fast speed. So I would always recommend it to newbies as a way to learn how to do like kiting on easy mode, basically. I'm not a fan of the armadillo race. The racial ability smacks of like something a 5-year-old would be like, wow, this is like a really cool idea. I can roll at the enemy. Oh my god, I'm like a boulder beetle. And granted, it is a cool idea, except I don't understand why it exists. Like, I'm struggling to understand what tactical scenario would be the one where you would want to use it, because if I remember correctly, I think you totally lose control of your character while you're rolling. A boulder beetle would be like an anthropomorphic boulder beetle. I could get behind that. Based. Let's get these scrolls. Blinking. +9 flail. Meh. Where's my Lajatang? Problem with Lajatangs is they're very rare. So we might actually be stuck using an inappropriate weapon for a good long while. We didn't find anything here that was worth changing our weapon for. Although we have 2 brand weapons, so if we do find a Lajatang, then we're in a good place to potentially get Vorpal out of it. But yeah, there's our 1 floor. I love Bcrawl. One of the biggest things I love about Bcrawl is the fact that I just finished Orc Mines in like 1 minute. Why? Because it's 1 floor, not 2. If you think about it, the first floor of Orc is basically pure fluff. There's no reason for it to exist, really. There's like one minor tactical thing that happens in it, which is sort of interesting, which is the fact that it's split up introduces an interesting choice that I think a lot of people don't realize, which is that if you don't have enough MR to be immune to paralysis, and you've got the Orc Sorcerers around in the different spots, it actually makes more sense to dig your way in than to take a staircase, because you could take a staircase down, then come back up, get instantly paralyzed and killed. That's like the only interesting thing that's lost, which is very minor and very unlikely. And in exchange, you get just a way more streamlined branch by making it 1 floor, so I applaud that decision. Also the fact that dungeon is only 12 floors, like the hells are a lot shorter if I remember correctly, lair branches are only 3 floors. You may use one of the 3 charges that generate... Well, you know, Gamma Funk ruined that. He tends to ruin things, but you know, outside of that, I don't think that change exists in Bcrawl, by the way. I think that digging is still a reasonable number of charges. Alright, I just auto-explored like 3 times, and I didn't find my dragon, so I don't know what happened to him. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to take the annotation away. I was going to go dragon hunting. I was going to try to polymorph because I have like 42 charges. You can force a shape changer to change shape, guaranteed, with poly. Dude, I'm very unhappy with this this dire flail. This run's going very well outside of that. Do we have curing? We have 9 curing. Okay. Terrified of being perma-confused here by that Tarantella. Nothing tougher than an iron dragon. How about an iron giant, bro? Believe me, there's always a more exciting death that you can have in this game. Do I have digging? Does disintegrate break walls? Nope. No wall breaking. A very old school mechanic that I was hoping that BH off might bring back. Yeah, but no digging. Lack of digging is going to be annoying. You know, Scroll of Noise really does have its uses. I typically don't use it, but I probably should. We have other ways of making noise. Wow, that's a Spider 1 Moth of Wrath. Lamp of Fire took care of that right quick. Still not wearing my Ring of RC. Honestly, I'm just going to swap to it. Cold damage is pretty rare at this point in the game, so it's not a huge deal. Once I get to depths or something, though, it's going to be an issue. You know, frost giants and whatnot are an issue. Uh-oh. Let's be more careful. Let's be a lot more careful. If we got paralyzed here, it would be pretty horrifying. 71%? Okay, cool. Not the best play ever. But, you know, we are tanky as hell. This plate mail is just ludicrous, really. You find a +10 plate mail early on, you'll be a real happy camper, you know. Even that Berserked Redback wasn't really doing nothing to me, so, or doing anything to me, rather. Pretty good stuff. Identify. Ooh, +6 Amulet of Reflection. We are allowed to wear those, even though we can't use a shield, but my resistances are currently being covered by the Amulet of the Albatross, and we're also getting Spirit out of it. So I think we're going to forego that, although I'm excited to use that later if we manage to cover our resistances some other way. Like maybe those boots, if I'm really feeling like a madman. Heart Wawi Horror. A weapon of freezing. There's a ration in there. I'll wear the Arc Hold and we'll try to duke it out with him. I bet you he's too buff. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but the minus telly is terrifying. What am I doing? I should, well, actually, I don't have Lamp of Fire up. That'd be really nice right now if I did. Okay, he's not resistant to Ice Blast. Just melee him a bit. I'm gonna have to drink a heal once, probably. My plate mail regen's actually proving to be incredibly useful, believe it or not, in this fight. Okay, we gotta use a heal once. Boo! There we go. Was that worth gaining 1 ration and the experience? I'm gonna say no. I probably used up all that food fighting because this is Bcrawl. And I knew better. I knew that wasn't optimal. Honestly, I just got greedy. I thought we could melee and win, but if I had looked more closely at the armor and evasion, I would have seen it was just not going to happen for me very quickly. He ended positive on food? Well, maybe, but nevertheless, I'd rather have the heal wounds potion. I could have reset the fight a couple times, but then I'm spending more food. Crowd entertainment, true. Well, what I really should have done is just come back with Lamp of Fire. Even though he was very resistant, we could have gotten a little bit of extra damage per turn from the cloud. Fun watching a couple of guys dunk on each other. I see. Okay, this is going to be a situation where I want to use my lamp. I don't want to get too corroded. Cool thing about Bcrawl is I might very well be able to finish this game in this session without spending too much time doing it, even though I am honor bound to do Tomb. Man, it feels good that we can duke it out with an Emperor Scorpion and win without too much trouble. You don't see too many characters that when they first get to Spider, they can just crush an Emperor Scorpion. You tend to have to be pretty damn strong for that to happen. We have just enough damage output that it's not miserable, and we have enough AC that we can, even though our damage output is not ideal, we have enough AC that we can spend a lot of time duking it out. Has Tomb changed in this fork? Well, I tell you, we're going to find out. I don't actually know. If the Zot traps are still there, then that's going to be a pain. What am I doing? I'm confused. I might have to drink Curing here. Let's go up. There's too much stuff. Ah! God, I really wish I could, I really hope BHOth brings back, clarity, because being able to just not deal with, Tarantella Confused would be pretty nice. Can't exactly bowl over them in a brain-dead, you know, tab sort of fashion. 30 plus 15, 45 damage minus GDR. Oh my god, okay. I'll drink a Curing. This is the time that we don't get to, just bowl this guy over, I suppose. Don't underestimate Emperor Scorpions, man. They are good in melee. Oh, hello. Hello, bye, Susan. She doesn't summon Hydras anymore. What a shame. I thought it was more interesting for her to summon Hydras, especially since you could just kind of mind control them with Enslave Wand and completely ruin her day. Let's pull her up by herself. Just kidding. Let's teleport. Oh shit. Alright, this is definitely a fear. Whoa, we don't have a fear. How could we have so many resources and no fear? Well, this is horrid. Hello, Enish. I think this is a blink situation. I have memed myself into a situation where I need to use a blink. There's that Bcrawl teleport affecting the game. Oh, come on, man. We gotta get more damage output. This character's getting basically cucked a bit by his lack of being able to kill things fast enough. But we're married to this Dire Flail for a while. Because of the conduct rules. Training staves, you know, no Lajatong to be had. Technically, I suppose I could use my 3 enchant weapons on, like, the Quarterstaff of Chaos, which would be, I suppose, exciting for the stream, but definitely not the right choice. Is there a Great Mace? There's a Great Mace available. We could enchant that up. And attack rather slowly with it, I suppose. That is an orange crystal statue. The Death Scarab End Vault. It looks like... Yes, I did. We have 9 intelligence. I just remembered I do have Regenerate. Okay, they should... Yeah, I was going to say that the water elementals will crush that thing. Oh, hello, baby. Alright, management, I have a complaint. Why can this water elemental be entangled in a web? If you have good RF, you can emulate them. That's a pretty good idea. I usually just use Holy Word, but it looks like we didn't get that this time. How many Vuln do we have? Just the one. It's a really good web. Try 15% paras. Doesn't look like that's happening. I want to test something. I'm going to use the scroll of immolation, and it looks like Bcrawl did not bring along the change that makes it so summoned things can be MO'd, which is fine. I just didn't know. Okay, Ring of Thunder, Berserker Rage. Oh boy. Yeah, that's fine. If I have to blink again, I'll blink again. Damn it. Okay, damn. Wait a minute. Okay, so he's right there. I'm completely blind, I guess. I was like, where's my beast? Interesting. Boxes did not change. For some reason I thought... Huh. I guess these are old school boxes. Okay. Let's blink. That means I should go buy that box of beasts. I thought it was experience gated. Okay, she is berserking. She is going to crush me in case there's any question about that. I suppose I could use my potion petition. We could descent, but it's only 39%. I probably should have Vuln-Para'd her. I'm just trying to decide what resources I want to use. I don't want to use more blink. We've already used way too much on this floor. I think I will potion petition. Haste, agility, resistance, invisibility. Yeah. Okay, that helps. I was really hoping for healing, though. How is her cold resist? Okay, it's present. Okay, if I just walk away for a while, I am just as fast as her, and she will be slow. Oh, never mind. JK. Easy Chi-Chi. Yes, indeed. Did a few subpar kind of plays there, but ultimately worked out. Yeah, dude, this is where this bad DPS really hurts me. Versus enemies like the shock wasp or whatever it's called, spark wasp. You know, if you're in combat with them for a couple turns too many, it can turn bad really quickly, even with Aralek. Subpar only matters if you lose. I suppose that's true. Orb spiders proceed to be very annoying in deep water, or shallow water, rather. But yeah, this whole game's gonna change when we get a Lajatong. Oh my god. Alright. Change to a hallway. A little bit safer here. Not taking quite so much potential damage, you know? How many floors is elf in this fork? 3. I think it should be 1, personally. Yeah, I think elf is totally untouched. However, they did do one interesting thing with the elves themselves, which is that they run away from you like orb spiders now. They don't let you get close. Which is pretty comical. And dangerous as well. Try and slave this guy, 78%. No? You don't want to do that for me? Okay. Really? Oh my god, I have failed like 3 98% in slaves. Now I have 4, 5, 6, excuse me, 78%. Okay, there, that one finally worked. 78% my ass. I'm sure it is 78%. I just rolled poorly. So you gotta assume that your stuff's just not gonna work, and always have a plan for if it doesn't, like 17 times in a row at 90-something% or 78% or whatever. Because that can happen. That could even happen at 99%. Shit. I was really hoping that one of those wouldn't show up here. I don't have my Cloak of Invis on anymore. Let's just drink Invisibility. Okay, drink Invisibility. Not sure he's missing me as much as he probably should be. Okay, here we go. Let's Ice Blast here. Can I hit these guys, all of them, without hitting myself? Doesn't look like it. Okay, I actually wanted to be berserked. This is fine. I was really hoping that result would happen, and it did. Just a free berserk. Which, oddly enough, we don't have any potions of berserk. You would think we would by now. Granted, that was a little bit of a dangerous way to solve the problem. Man, I forgot... Also, I shouldn't be letting myself melee this. I forgot exactly how spicy this end vault is before you even get to the part that's like quote-unquote dangerous. Yeah, it's the tomb ending of Spider. But I mean, we've been having a hell of a time, oddly enough, even before getting to it. Also, this really should be a rune door, so we're going to exclude it off. Okay, well, I excluded it off so I could explore the rest of the floor, but it looks like I already have explored the rest of the floor. Okie dokie. I'm going to do my usual strategy here. Telly, open the door. Boy, they are just right there. Aren't we glad that we opened up with the telly before we opened the door? In fact, I should have waited a couple turns. Okay, let's get on the solid ground. I mean, believe me, that was enough scarabs to kill me. We'll abuse steam here with the flame wand. Doesn't take a whole lot of damage to kill a death scarab. The real problem is that they evade. Come on. Be nice if there was a little bit more of a hallway I could create for myself here, but this'll do. It's not like I need Wand of Flames past this point, really. Single death scarab's no big deal, apparently, for this character. Keep getting strength. What am I doing, man? I'm not casting regen at all. Let's remember that exists, yeah? In fact, I should train that up, and I should be getting a little more intelligence, to be honest. I'm making mistakes with my leveling. Take those all the way to 12, I suppose. Uh-oh. Hurt myself a bit, that's fine. The scarabs can turn a good fight bad so quickly. Alright, we have a rune, baby. Not bad. Still no Lodgetong. Do I dare blow all my money on weapon shops? Probably not. I mean, what are the chances, really, that we get a Lodgetong? Pretty low. Uh-oh. That's an avatar, and the wraith, the lady with the wraiths is here, Josephine. Okay. May have just set myself on fire. Perhaps a bad choice. Yeah, there she is. Got some dig charges off of her. It is good to have digging. What is this? Scroll of Fear? Well, certainly I'd want that. We'll drop Scarf of Clouds. I shouldn't need it. Drop Insulation. Drop Ice. Keep the Flight just in case. Actually, do I have potions? I have 10 potions of flight. Okay, drop the flight. Although potion of flight is useful in Bcrawl since it gives you swiftness. I should... You know what? I'm going to be in this plate mail forever, so let's go ahead and... I've been making a huge mistake. Let's use these enchant armors. Because there's really no reason not to. I've got so many. What am I really going to be swapping this plate mail for? The answer is nothing. Whoops. Yeah, now we just increased our AC by a lot. That was entirely worth it. Yeah, it's a Mace of Sea Invisible. That is strictly there for me to swap to. Technically a ring is available, but oh god. Oh, okay. What a bad situation. Let's telly. Did I just got knocked back and then netted again. How amazing. Let's regen. Knocked out of the net. Would that have made fighting the Invis things in Spider easier? I'm gonna go with no. Wow, that was the worst telly ever. Let's telly again. I'm gonna go with no primarily because because my weapon would have been significantly worse. Are you shitting me? This is my telly? Oh man, both tellies are bad. This is acceptable, I guess. Just being put to sleep next to a Cyclops sounds pretty goddamn miserable. Let's drink a curing. Okay. Can we para him? 64%. Good. Very good. Wand of Flame, so the steam is doing damage while I'm sleeping. Okay. Not bad. I'm glad that para went through. Character could use a little bit of a boost. He's very strong, but I gotta get this offense problem under control. I'm trying to think of how I can do that right now under the rules, while still following the rules, I mean. It doesn't look necessarily like we're gonna find a Lajatong anytime soon, but I'm gonna need probably a boost if I want this to not be miserable. Whoa! Uh-oh. Okay, I'm glad I didn't die. Turns out he has a wand of para, or at least he had one. And I just didn't see it. I don't think I put my RC file in Bcrawl. That could have been very bad. Guess I'm glad I have a massive amount of AC. Whoa, right, they have reach. Drink heal wounds. Man. Okay, well, I'll block off line of sight from this dude by using the Wand of Flame. Take a step down. Damn, dude. This is out of control. Let's regen. I should have done that a couple turns ago. I need some friends. We have no way of gaining friends. Should go buy that box of beasts. We'll make a beeline for the staircase when we get a chance. This is why I learned regen as my one and only spell. This would be such a worse situation if I didn't have regen. Also, low-level spell, so not much of an investment, you know? Well, I definitely want to kill that ghost for those artifacts. Uh-oh, I've got the coronavirus in game. I'm full of corona. This guy has good AC. Wait for corona to end and we'll try to fight him. If it goes poorly, I'll just use Vuln. Actually, I only have 2 paralyzes, maybe not. Looks like we're winning the melee fight though. A lot of tabbing. That's what happens when you have high AC. Alright, that ring's crap. That chainmail is reasonable, but doesn't beat our plate. God, I need MR. Getting confused in here is no good. He's keeping me on the water. There we go. And I've never had such a problematic shoals one. No, that's a lie. I'm sure I have. Teleporting away from the water nymph here because I'm absolutely terrified of it. And man, the tellies are being so unkind today. There we go. Like just a series of bad tellies. But that's why you do it when you're high on HP and not low on HP. Because that way you can survive a couple of bad teleports. Maybe I'm just too used to having a shield at this point. I feel fragile as hell, even with this AC. It's your typical shoals experience. Well, we would be having just a much, much easier problem if we were allowed to use shields. But a lack of a shield means that every single asshole with a polearm is just hitting us, you know? I mean, granted, shields are less good in shoals than they used to be on account of the fact that, well, at least in mainline, the javelins penetrate and therefore just ignore shields, but, you know, it's still really good to have. I mean, the merfolk and palers do solid damage, and just making that not happen pretty regularly is a powerful thing. But that path is closed to us due to the conduct. Oh man, we got teleported instantly again. No. Throw me a bone, Bcrawl. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. 10k gold or try to... Well, I'm not worried about the 10k gold right now. We can always farm that up later. We have to win the game with 10k gold, so it's not like there's really a time limit. The reason I have not purchased a shop yet is because you get better items based on your character level. I have limited food. Yeah, I know. Well, kind of. I mean, I can always farm up more food. Okay, can I paralyze this guy, please? Apparently not. Not at 64%, that's just not high enough. Well, I love the fact that I have 15 evocations. Makes my lamp of fire usable in these wide open spaces, you know? Bit of a problem solver. The damage that I'm not getting out of my weapon, I can at least get out of that from time to time. I'm gonna go buy that box. This character really wants more emergency tools if he's gonna be stuck with this stupid dire flail. I'm gonna look at flails, maces and flails real fast. Nothing really, except for the demon whip, I guess. Polearms, maybe? Nope. Nope. Okay. And no Lodgetongue. We have 4 enchant weapon. God, do I just bite the bullet and make the dire flail my boy here? I don't know. I think I probably do go for a weapon. Let me finish out this floor of shoals. We've mostly cleared it, so The thing is, like, we badly need MR plus anyway. So even if I don't get offered a weapon shop... What is this, 50 damage? Yeah. Even if we don't get offered a weapon shop, we could potentially find something useful. Sure wish we could blink, as in the spell. No such luck, though. I mean, it's not even available, but even if it was, I wouldn't be allowed. I guess it's for sale, but we opted for the region plan, and I do not regret. If anything, region's gonna get us through this, you know? With our bad damage, region's kind of a godsend because it gives us a little more time to handle bad situations. Oh god. You gotta be really careful with these guys because they can do so much damage to you at range. Nice. I was worried about that 40%, but yeah, let's just very liberally use our disintegrate. God, BHOth is like an evil genius giving these guys primal wave. Just completely terrifying. As if they weren't dangerous enough already. And now he's resisting. Man, it's box time, I guess. 3d16. We're okay for at least one more attack. Okay, good. Used up my box, though. Maybe boxes get used up automatically every time you use them in Bcrawl. But yeah, we're not using infinite resources here. We're using finite resources a lot to survive, so it's a problem. We need the boost. So call a merchant. I mean, I could be relying on potion petition, I suppose, but alrighty. So bookshop's available. That's useless. Distillery would be nice. Gadget shop would be kind of cool. Having wands could potentially solve this situation, but we have no guarantee that the gadget shop will actually be good. So let's just pick up the food shop. Buy every last piece of food. Okay, 3,000 gold. I will go ahead. I guess I could bribe, but that's a little silly. Let's call another merchant. Scroll shop, jewelry shop, gadget shop. I think I'm going to go for the scroll shop. I don't remember what kind of acquirement Bcrawl has. If it's the old style requirement, or acquirement rather, then that'll be really good for finding a weapon. We're pretty good on jewelry. Our rings are really quite nice. It's hard to say no to scrolls anyway. Sadly, no acquirement. Wow, we really got ripped off. Holy shit. It's just a ton of identify scrolls, really. We got a fear and a telly off of that. I've never been so ripped off in my life. Alright, well, that's horrid. Let's just, like, hard Scrabble to win. to win Shoals 3, I guess. Our ration situation is under control, so we got something out of all that money, even if it wasn't what I wanted. Or wasn't all that I wanted. Double downtime on the flail. I may very well enchant it up. I don't know. Oh, this is so perfect for lamp. You can mesmerize me, but you're gonna burn in the clouds. I mean, this character is tough enough to handle one thing at a time, as long as he's not getting bounced around the screen and whatnot, you know? Wow, that is a plus 7 demon blade of electrocution. Wouldn't that be cool if we were allowed to train swords? Okay, we got put to sleep, but I actually charmed the Cyclops, so... Haha. No ranged sleep large rocks for me. Okay, this is a lot of crap, and I should probably be a little more worried about it than I am. Because I don't have a shield. Fuck. Oh, this is miserable. This is too dangerous. I'll drink a heal wounds. Charm. I'll fail to charm. Fail to charm again. Oh man. Like, in a situation like that with a shield, we would have just crushed it. But without one, the damage is just outrageous. Floods? I don't want a floods here. There's a water nymph. Okay, let's potion petition. Heal wounds and berserk rage. This should be sufficient. Oh, come on, there we go. Another one. Oh my god. Okay. Alright, oh man, this is merciless. Okay, even while slowed, we can attack at roughly speed 1. Okay, there we go. The water elementals did their job. Yeah, in retrospect, I should have gotten the 2 gadget shops. Even rolling the dice on the contents of the gadget shop, there would have been a few wands that would have been useful enough to finish this branch, and also probably be useful for a significant portion of the rest of the game. So that was a mistake. Not the biggest mistake I've ever made, but not great. I polymorphed the Impaler. Turned into a Hydra, which is fine. Oh my god. I keep overestimating my ability to melee. I guess 15 evasion's not that much, but still. I'm telling you, man, it's the lack of a shield. Trying to take so many things at the same time. Ooh, we're barbed. That's okay. Let's walk it off. Just to get to the hallway where we can actually fight. Bcrawl's exploding disintegrate really coming in useful. Should probably be tactically abusing that a little bit more. It's kind of like a ghetto lamp of fire in a way, if you can set it up properly. Like here. It's fine, I'll be happy to explode here. Boom. Just, well, I'm being mesmerized. Let's step out of it. Can't go very far, but... Bruh. Disintegrate doesn't want to work at 86%. Come on, man. Or maybe it's just doing less damage than I'm used to. Yeah, that did damage. I wonder if he increased the HP of these merfolk. 55 doesn't seem like more than usual. Maybe he decreased the damage of disintegrate, is that... I don't know, man. I'm used to disintegrate, like killing these things in 1-2 hits. Whoa, hello. You are Polyphemus. What is up, buddy? You can hit like a truck. Okay. I mean, that's 3 exclamation points worth of damage. I can't really complain. It just doesn't look like much. All this fire. Have fun, guys. Let's keep him in the fire by moving up to him and fighting him here. No, this is too much that's coming at me. I think I need to telly. Hate to telly on this largely unexplored floor, but my alternative is to dig into this, and I suspect that there's plenty of stuff inside. I doubt that we've lured it all out. So we're going to telly. This is not the best telly I've ever had in my life. Okay, can we defeat a bunch of lair enemies that do 30 damage? Maybe. 49 AC. My GDR keeps me from dying here. Normally I wouldn't be willing to fight, you know, that much damage coming at me from that many sources, but I knew I couldn't die, I think, at any moment there because of GDR. I didn't sit down and do the math, but, you know. Oof. Vile Clutch, I'd be really excited to find Vile Clutch at this point. Except, can't use spells. Okay, now this is an exciting scenario. Remember what I said about Water Strike being able to do like 50 damage? Hey, doesn't he? Yeah, here's the rune, oh boy! Also, hey, good to see you, doesn't he? Yeah, so we could instantly die here pretty easily. It can actually do, let's see, 17 times 3 is 51 damage. And I think that might even ignore AC. I'm not sure about that. Actually, no, there's no way it ignores AC, but still, there's just too much damage here. What I would like to do is read MO and just like brutalize these guys. But I don't think I have the I don't think I have, because I have Scattershot, you know. If I could buy myself a couple turns somehow, it would be so great to MO and just like blow through these dudes. Unfortunately, I think we're going to have to say that discretion is the better part of valor and either blink out of this or take a step to the southwest and start teleporting. Given that I only have 3 blinks left, I think I'm going to be a teleporting man today. Technically, I could try to melee stuff here, but I'm in the water and I didn't want to fool with it. This will let them out, you know, to go play throughout the rest of the level. Meaning I can get dabbed on a little bit less. Okay, never mind, there's 2 nymphs right here. Wonderful. Well, I have Scattershot now, so we'll do this. And we'll actually burn Scattershot, because this is a terrifying situation. Scattershot, how I have missed thee. What a good wand. Dude, Bcrawl. It's not pulling any punches with this primal wave water nymph, man. Terrifying. It's just incredible. Like, I don't think I ever would have thought to put that on a water nymph. It's just evil. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. Like, it's an exciting and interesting tactical challenge, but it makes them so much stronger. Seriously horrifying, yes. Because you want to kill them really fast, but they're shoving you away from them and they're generating water on you. I mean, it's just like, it's like fucking nuts, man. It's nuts that nobody thought of that before BH Off did. It also does solid damage on its own, you know, without even taking into account the proposition of getting water striked afterwards. Water struck? It almost makes water strike moot. Yeah, kinda. Yeah. Although water strike is smite targeted, so if some kind of positioning thing happens after they dunk you into the water, they don't care. They're just gonna water strike you now. Alright, we made it. With our suboptimal weapon, we have made it. Orb of water. It's pretty based, I have to say. Alright, we have 2 runes. 2 runes. Do we have our core available? Yes, we do, in the form of a ring, although I do not see myself winning slime right now. I could go into vaults, I suppose. Which is 3 floors, I think. Not 5. But our MR is still a problem. And we're low on money. I can't believe that, you know, even with a cosplay challenge or whatever, I am having trouble believing the fact that I'm having a challenging game with Gozag as my god. I mean, that kind of goes to show, I guess Bcrawl is pretty pretty interesting, you know, in terms of the challenge. Granted, a lot of it is just that I've been sort of hogtied and forced to use certain weapons. I mean, this character would be a lot in a lot better of a place if he was simply allowed to... Actually, what weapon would I be using, I wonder? Depending on when I had committed to training, it probably would be that Demon Blade. Actually, it would be the Demon Whip. I would have married myself to the Demon Whip of Draining as soon as I found it, and then I would have... I think I found a shield early that I'd be using if that was allowed. Yeah. And that's how this game would have gone in an optimal situation where I'm allowed to do whatever. Be training clutch right now. Yeah. You're right. Correct. Stair dancing, even though this is Bcrawl, and eventually I'll get punished for it. Can train one spell as part of the conduct. It's regen. I just haven't been using it as much as I should be. I got marked, which is okay with me. That's fine. We can fight here, and you can teleport me at some point if you want to, Bcrawl. Okay, there it is. Finally teleported. I guess I'd like to put on RC. Otherwise, this freezing wraith is going to ruin my day. How does Bcrawl punish stair dancing? Whenever you go down the stairs, there's a chance you get teleported. Whenever you go up the stairs, if there are enemies nearby, there's a chance you get teleported. So it forces you to be a little bit more economical in exactly how you spend your stair dancing turns, and maybe do it a little bit less often. It's not as bad as it sounds because the chance is relatively low. Ultimately, while I've complained about that change, I think I like it a lot. My only remaining complaint about it really is the fact that it kicks in so soon. Like, I think that maybe that shouldn't happen in the dungeon period, like the entire dungeon, because that would create kind of an interesting strategic choice where it's like, well, maybe I should, you know, to avoid this problem, maybe I should just do the rest of dungeon instead of going into lair or orc. And I'm always a fan of giving the player something to think about. Ah, Christ. I should put on RC, but I'm not gonna. Problem is the flavor of it is strongest in Dungeon Depth Sought. Yeah, I suppose so. See, as soon as the Pandemonium Lords get wind that you're getting too deep in the dungeon, they activate their magical, their traps. Their stair traps. There's your fluff. You know, I just kind of, like, brain-dead autopiloted my way into vaults. Like, gee, I need experience. I think this character can survive vaults despite his lack of MR. I'm not necessarily sure this is where I should be. I know I can't do slime right now. The character's not strong enough. I know that elf would present a big issue because of the fact that I don't have as much damage as I'd like, although, I mean, elves should die reasonably fast to this dire flail. Probably not as fast as I'd like. Oh, hello. That helps the elf situation. Take the disintegrates too. It's weird that I'm buying disintegrates at this point in the game, but whatever. I need to drop some stuff. Let's drop penetration. Drop Staff of Cold. Oh, I was carrying the Staff of Cold just so I could keep training staves. That's cute. Well, that AC, all the AC in the world won't keep you alive in Elf. If you're not careful. But yeah, I mean, you're right. I shouldn't be complaining with my plus 10 plate, but it is what it is. Alright, let's drop scroll a brand weapon. We'll come back for it if we find a Lajatong. This is not an elf character. Well, hey, time to test. Can we win? Oh, okay. Yeah, right. I don't have MR. Okie doke. Welcome to the Abyss, my friends. I'm level 19. It's not a big deal. The fuck is this? What? 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 It's a pretty good tile. He can haunt me? He has 18 HP, but very high evasion. Oh, this is a new swamp monster? Is this in mainline? God, I hope this isn't in mainline. Haunt? Haunt and swamp? Oh man. Mesmerize? This to me looks like a BHoth invention. This is like an evil combination of spells that just seems like something BHoth would do. Even if Pleasing Fungus did it, I gotta give credit where credit is due. This is an interesting monster. I don't think it belongs in Swamp, but it's certainly legit to be in Abyss. Dies pretty fast, I guess. Bit of a glass cannon. Yeah, all casters run away in Bcrawl. Wow, getting petrified. The old chaos effects today. Sure hope I don't get paralyzed here. God damn it. The mainline version just uses Foxfire and Blink. See, I knew it. I knew those. I just saw that combination of spells, and BHoth, I give him credit for this, man. Like, he knows how to combine spells to make the player have a bad day. You know, give the right combination of spells to the right enemy. I've heard people complaining that the Foxfire, there was an enemy in Swamp that has like Foxfire. I assume it was Will-o'-the-Wisp. That they were saying like the Foxfire does a stupid amount of damage. Oh, shit. This is a little bit ugly. Oh man, you're supposed to shove him away for me. Alright, I'm gonna hope I don't get paralyzed. We're gonna acid here. If there's only... I don't think I can get paralyzed if there's less than 5. Or maybe 4 is the magic number. We'll reduce line of sight here a bit. Could really go for an Abyss exit. I wasn't even thinking about Abyss. Like, it's funny because by the time you get to Elf, typically, if you're me, you have prioritized for MR so much that there's like no chance of getting Abyssed. But this game, we simply have had bad luck in terms of finding MR. Time for some Malmutate. Well, it's temporary mutations, actually. I should be regenerating. We picked the right spell to be in this situation, I gotta tell you. Hey, there it is. Hey, I did. I cast Regen near the end there. Alright, let's actually let's check something. 42% chance of banishment. Beautiful. Could have easily been banished again there or taken a ton of damage. But that's okay, we didn't. That is exactly the enemy I didn't want to see in Vaults, by the way. Half the reason I came here was because I didn't feel like this character could really... Whoa! Oh, shit. I don't have RC on right now. Hello? I'm really paying attention. Okay. Okay, hold up. You can do 45 plus large rock, which is 20, so 65 damage minus my AC. I should be okay because of GDR. I don't think I can die here. Let's go ahead and do regen. Sadly, he does hit me. I'm gonna burn one of my curings. Okay, I'm playing it way too close to the wire here. I didn't want to use heal wounds, but I think I now have to. How many rocks does he have? Oh, he has 29. Oh, no, this isn't regular crawl. This is Bcrawl, where every giant carries around a comically large sack of rocks. I thought I could run him out of rocks quicker than this. Okay. Drink a heal wounds. I needed the rock to miss me. Okay, another one misses me. Okay, that's not quite right. Block line of sight. Well, I could use a fog, but there's no guarantee. So I can't do it. Also, I only have one fog. It would be cool if I could block line of sight. That would give me time for my armor to regen for me. We're okay. I've got regen up and my armor has regen. We're getting a couple hit points per turn. Don't think he can kill me. Probably very close. I should probably do the math on it. What is the GDR, honestly, of a plate mail? I think it's 39%. I think it's the same as statue form. Am I blind? Where is it? That's all the dragon armors. Plate Pearl Storm Shadow 39. Yeah, I should be okay with freaking 45 AC. Mr. Centaur, I'm not worried about at all. Regen again. Regen again. Oh, he's actually still chasing me. Okay. Okay. Do I have lamp? Oh, I don't actually have lamp. That's okay. We're gonna do this. Then we're just gonna melee his ass with his newly reduced AC. I've been marked. Man, this has been a wilder ride than I expected. I kind of expected us to just be tabbing through the game at this point, even without a shield. Mr. Joseph's wild ride over here. Okay, we have lamp again. Let's easy peasy game. It's not bad. It's just a little more challenging than I expected, perhaps. Wait a minute. Boggarts resist poison? No, they're not. Might as well get some value out of this curare, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, what this character wants more than anything, he wants a loot pile. Unfortunately, I'm essentially blocked from loot piles right now because can't safely do slime, can't safely do elf. I'm sure that this character can't safely do the end of vaults either. No question about that. It's a nice piece of artifact jewelry here, blocked by a damn curse skull. Oh boy, an iron shot ghost. Beautiful. A flail of holy wrath. Yeah, that would be. I probably is a dire flail. I think there is a dire flail of holy wrath. Yeah, that would definitely be worth grabbing for this. We would have to burn a telly though. There's no way I could take this. Honestly, even if I... This is a ghost with regeneration and iron shot. The only way we're beating this ghost safely is if I had a bunch of paralyze and vulnerability scroll, which I do have vulnerability scroll. I don't have paralyze right now. And then with the torment here, I'd really have to telly and then open up the door and spread everything out. The ring's probably not even worth it. We'll come back. We'll come back at some point. Gosh, is this the rare character where I want to go into depths? Hey, Bcrawl telly. All right. Let's put my AC back on. Can I have a hallway, please? Okay, we're gonna drink Flight, so I'm not taking, getting mischance from the water. Okay, that's a problem. I gotta have Arc Hold on if I'm gonna be next to a Simulacrum. Oh, hey, we found Lightning Rod. That's huge. Wouldn't that be nice, Anani Badger? God damn it, he has friends. Of course he does. And we're not regenerating like we should be. What's your book, buddy? You were a Bolt of Fire. That's not a problem, really. Okay, we're going to do what we should have done a while ago, which is read Telly. I'm right next to this guy who can do 88 damage, which is terrifying. Hey, Mr. Ostrom, how you doing, man? Can I maybe finish them off? Yeah, okay, I got the Frost Giant, so we'll wear the Ring of RC now. He can't haste the slime, I'm in the way. That would be terrifying, though, I have to admit. He can haste the dragon, though. That's what he can do. Alright, could we die here? No, I have too much AC. You know, it's like I'm not used to having regen anymore, you know? Because it was taken out of mainland a while ago at this point. Of course, I'm sure that even in the heyday of my streak, I'm 100% sure that I forgot to cast regen all the time. What's the chances of disintegrating? 86. Oh man, I was really hoping he would explode. Oh yeah, I'm being careful. We'll keep regen up. We'll be okay. Oh, come on, man. It's this weapon, dude. We just cannot do the damage that we need to do as quick as we need to do it. Oh, you mean explosion because of noise? Yeah, that could have been an issue, actually. There we go. Okay, 2,952. I think it's about time for me to really start considering using bribe branch just to get just to get a loot pile. I'm real tempted to bribe elf. I mean, that would use my entire stack of coinage, but I think it might very well be worth it because this character has just been just a little bit robbed. I mean, I can't complain too much because I do have this wacky ass plus 10 plate, but basically every other aspect, other than my AC and my resistances, so mostly just the weapon, I guess. But then again, everything feels worse because of the lack of a shield, so it is what it is. Well, yeah, MR is the big issue, isn't it? How do you guys like that trick? You polymorph a... it's actually a really bad thing to do. You shouldn't do that. You polymorph a slime that's been combined, you know, with a bunch of other slimes, and you get like 4 things pop out. Which is ultimately terrifying, like 4 chances of something that could just kind of kill you instantly. Like this guy, hello. 33% paralyzed man. If I do Box of Beast, there's a really good chance he ends up right next to me. Just kidding, no he doesn't. Alright, I'm gonna teleport because I could get paralyzed at any moment. I swear, the positioning rules for when you summon something, it seems like it always shows up in the least convenient spot. You know, he actually skipped across these enemies and showed up over here. Song of Slaying? What are you talking about, extra shield? That gives a slaying bonus, man. I picked a regen. I figure that's the way to make up for taking more damage than I'd like. Could have gone staff form, but I decided it would be against the spirit of the competition to, or of the challenge to train unarmed combat, which technically is not a weapon. but I consider it a weapon skill at this point. I think I used that to get around one of the cosplay challenges or something. Or maybe I just thought about it. Give shields now? In Bcrawl, I didn't know. I think I may have actually seen that at one point. Hey, Senshi, how you doing, my friend? We're having a bit of a rough run today. Getting paralyzed there would be no good, but notice I didn't put myself at risk of that until there was just an orc warrior left. This is Bcrawl. What you got? Bolt of fire? No problem. Oh, that sounds like a Bcrawl thing to me, but I don't know. Sounds pretty standard. Okay, where's our boy? Let's, yeah, he's there. I was lightning rodding him to get all that summoned crap away. Oh, we're starving. What am I doing? That's no good. I'll fight while slow. I'm not gonna fight while starving. Tabbing through vaults. Kind of. I'm tabbing through vaults until something horrible happens, which is occurring more frequently than perhaps I'd like. I do find it funny that we are scared of, you know, we have like 50 AC, but we're still scared of stone giants, which have only physical damage, you know? Okay, that's 44% chance of agony, but we have RN+++, so I think you're immune to that spell, actually, if you have this much resist negative. Guess I'm not 100% on that. Okay, yeah, in this challenge a sling is allowed, but my thinking was that it was a bad idea for two reasons, one of which is I'm denied a shield, so I might as well use a two-hander. More importantly, ammo. I really don't like to use ranged weapons without Oka. Yeah, I forgot regen there. You got me. I gave you the title of stick fighter. Staves. Under this challenge, I'm only allowed to train fighting, as far as weapon skills go, fighting, staff, and slings. We're going to drop scrolls of enchant armor and enchant weapon, and we'll just come back for them later if we need them, just to clear out the inventory a bit. We just got 12 charges of paralysis, which is very, very good. Yep, Elijah Tongue would really help me out right now. Just no luck. At this point I would even take like a staff, just a +9 staff, I guess, but ideally a Vorpal. Mage Apprentice cosplay? No, I have not seen that. Okay, I think we're gonna try to do this this whack-ass vault. I think we can make it happen. I'll burn the telly for it. Wait, where was it? Vault's 1, okay. Oh man, I'm low on telly. I opened it up before we teleported. Okay, hello. Honestly, we could just grab the stuff and leave. Oh, hello. Shit, they're together still. I gotta burn another telly. That could have been horrid. Now we only have one telly left. I'm gonna have to buy a shop and hope for scrolls. This lack of telly is no good. Okay, here's this asshole. Okay, so we have all those paralyzes. And we have Vuln. Is there any reason I don't want to cast Vuln? No. Okay, so Vuln it is. Jesus Christ, he immediately starts iron shotting me. 41%, huh? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Alright, potion petition for healing. Oh, that's Berserk Rage, I don't want that. Haste and agility, I guess. I could have died there. Drink the heal wounds, he hits me. Bro, even his melee is incredible, can hit up to 100 damage. Did this motherfucker die with Dark Maul in his hands? How is that possible? I didn't even see that. Holy shit. Okay, let's blink. Let's regen. Yeah, this guy's not messing around, dude. Oh, it's hard cat to fit. You're right. You're right. Well, I don't want to get iron shotted to death, and I don't want to get hit for 100. It's a big problem. Oh, okay, we get the para this time when we're all the way across the map. Wonderful. It's okay. I'm too afraid to get in melee with him. Without at least 100 HP. So we will let our friends deal with this obnoxious issue while he's paralyzed. Wait, is he dead? Tell me he's dead. And then just blink away. Yeah, he's dead. Fire back, got him. Still have a box of beasts too. Alright. So sadly the cursed skull was like right behind. I'm going to be a madman, and I'm going to go ahead and lignify. Wait a minute. Will he stay away from me because this is Bcrawl? Have I just memed myself? In mainline, you can trust them to just eventually get up next to you. Well, it's not the end of the world. We have 3 acid. We're going to use... I said Bcrawl. I didn't say Bcadron Crawl. No. Bcrawl, most casters seem to walk away from you. But this guy looks like he's coming right up to me, so we'll just melee him with our beautiful holy dire flail. Got him. Alrighty, now we get the moment of truth and judgment. I find out if this ring was worth it, and holy shit, I think it was. Well, it's okay. It solves my RC problem. I don't really care about the RN+. I've already got max. The MP's okay because of Spirit Shield. The intelligence is good. Yeah, I'll take it. That's good. I'll take it over +5 AC, believe it or not. At the minimum, even in situations where there's no cold to be resisted, the extra 3 intelligence is going to help my regen spell power probably more than you would think. Okay, we're in a pickle. Where do we go? We have Vaults 3 to do, we have Slime to do, and we have Elf to do. Or Crypt. All of those places are kind of horrible for this guy. Bribing Elf is probably the right choice. Going to Depths is also an option. Farming Abyss is an option. I hate to do that, but I think it might be necessary. I hate to use the bribe is the thing, because that's just so much money. I think I would almost rather bribe Depths and use that to get me to Abyss. No, I really don't have much in the way of food left over. Bcrawl is a lot less forgiving in terms of farming up a lot of food. Like the amount of rations that I'm using just meleeing dudes is pretty hardcore. Yeah, I don't know, Nani Badger, if it's been changed in Bcrawl. But we would be killing things for gold, and we can summon food shops, so... that's kind of one of the reasons I didn't want to use up my gold if possible, though, because I might need it for food. Well, I have Omni Resistance now. Alright, I believe in myself. We're gonna do this. Doesn't summoning a shop cost more money the more you do it? Correct. But we're not to the point where that's an issue yet. Although we're getting there, I guess. It's kind of funny because it says 1553 gold, but then it'll actually cost less, depending on what kind of shop you summon. And I think the food shops are always relatively cheap, but you still have to have the 155 whatever. Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What are you doing to me, BH Auth? The cost just changed to 1554 from 1553. What? That should only change when you summon a shop. What just happened? 1554. Did I imagine that? It was 1553 a second ago. No, I don't think so. Could it be based on... It just went up to 1556. Maybe it is. I think it's a percentage of all the gold that is ever dropped. I think that's what he changed it to. Just like the entrance fee. It rises off turn rate. That's not how it works in mainline. In mainline, it's based on how many shops you've summoned. That's really weird. So it's like trying to incentivize you to get the shops earlier, because otherwise you'll. I don't like that change because that incentivizes you to play turn count style, which is never fun. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that change, I don't think. To prevent undead scum? I don't think that was really an issue. I mean, anybody can farm in this game, whether they're Gozag or not. By just chilling out in Abyss for a long time. Okay, let's dig. Okay, you, with your +6 anti-magic demon blade. He doesn't have resist fire, so we're gonna do the lamp. Can I just melee him? I think I can. He's not taking much damage, is he? Technically he can iron shot me, but it's unlikely. Oh, just kidding. He iron shots me as soon as I say that. I used acid. What are the demon variants for all weapon types? Demon whip, demon blade, demon trident. What do you want, like demon staff, demon axe? Broad axe pretty much fills that role. This wasn't the best kill hole I've ever made, but it'll do. Uh-oh. Hello, elf. Elf 1 sorcerer. What's up, buddy? Let's file a flood sim. Maybe I can block myself from getting abyssed again. Okay. I'm trying to get a situation where I'm like not surrounded by stuff. But I should have made my kill hole better if I wanted that. Deep Elf Knight, or Axe of Ascent, Wand of Enslavement. That's no good. That actually will just confuse me. 29% chance to kill MR. Let's scattershot him. I don't want to be confused right now. I'm fighting basically the whole level on account of the fact that I got marked. But that's okay. It went pretty well, to be honest. Elf is doable with 15 evocations and a good collection of wands, which is why I was saying earlier I really should have just bit the bullet and bought a bunch of gadget shops. Because, you know, you give me a 50 stack of Ice Blast and 15 evocations, and I promise you I will get you the elf, I will get you the elf loot pile. Starving, though, it's an issue. Well, I mean, honestly, the game really wants me to just start calling merchants, so I guess I will. Okay, armor shop, assorted antiques, gadget shop, food shop. We'll get the gadget shop. Give me all the para. Give me the acid. I don't need digging. I already have quite a bit of it. Give me the sack of spiders. Oh shit! I just made a mistake. I shouldn't have bought that much. I need more money. For food. Shit. In before we starve. So weird, man. I'm so not used to worrying about food at this point in the game, even under Gozag. It's an interesting thing that BHOth has done here. What is this? Glaive of chopping. Oh, hello. You know what? These guys are technically considered to be undead, so... We must construct additional food shops. Well, the T-Mons are not undead, but the A-Bombs are. So for the A-Bombs, we'll swap to Holy, and for this guy, we'll use Crushing. And we'll see if we can melee these dudes. They're pretty tough, but my 45 AC should keep me safe. Whoops, I don't want to have a blowgun on. I'm gonna have the Holy Wrath on. They do what, like 40 damage? Yeah. Shouldn't be a huge deal. 167 gold. We're almost to the point where we can buy food shop. Mutation potions. Can I mutate my way into not wanting food? Okay. Scarf of cloud resistance is here in the game, but there's just like a 3-stack of mutation here, and I just don't need it. Bro, this is the third ghost of the same guy that we've seen. How many times is he gonna die? It's actually 2 cancellation here, which I would really, really like, but it's not worth the food cost at this point to go grab my scarf. Or to fight all this crap, really. Is the ghost doable? I mean, the ghost is kind of crappy. He's the only one that runs Bcrawl on this server, yeah. Neo ghosts don't have to die in the same area for them to show up. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't want to deal with Mr. Cacodemon. He has real malmutate. Wow, Nicola with a Wand of Enslavement and a Rapier of Distortion. It's like the biggest boss Nicola ever. 6% chance of poly. His MR is quite good. Okay. That was not the best. That was not the best lamp. If I get confused, it's not a big deal. I gotta... Disto doesn't banish on hit. That's true, but teleporting is honestly terrifying right now. But the main thing is I don't want to be... oh wait, he doesn't have it anymore. He doesn't have Chain Lightning. Okay. Huh. I summoned these guys because I was like, I need allies to suck up the Chain Lightnings. We're safe to just tab them then. The only scary thing would be getting teleported by the Disto, which is not so good on a floor like this. Gosh, that cloak could be MR. I need my money too much right now, though. I can't do it. Dude, these mages are not messing around with all these summons. Regular enemies get scarier, but uniques get more tolerable. I mean, that's one way to keep the game exciting. Oh, good news, guys. We just won the game. We got the spell tree form. Oh, just kidding. I'm not allowed to memorize. Becoming a tree is the ultimate way. The ultimate way to win this game. You must speak for the trees have no tongues. I mean, I'm laughing and joking, but it's just Lignify. I mean, it's become pretty good in melee, to be honest, if you are an unarmed guy. I wouldn't say that it sucks. I mean, anything that is such low level and makes you immune to torment has its uses, you know? Lignification is good because it gives you an outrageous amount of GDR, a really good amount of AC, and it makes you immune to torment and other negative energy effects. So basically, I like Lignify. Also, it makes you hit like a truck in melee with no weapon. So you can do things that you wouldn't really expect with it. Like Mr. Ostrom says, you can use it to kill a Hydra. You really think that you at a glance you would say that that's not possible because it kills your evasion, right? But you know, your AC is high enough that you're only taking about 10 damage per head at the most, and you're hitting so hard that if you have a decent amount of HP stockpiled, you can usually damage race them down. Now also, I believe it gives you a 20% HP boost, so a lot of fun stuff. Okay, this is the moment of truth and judgment. We're on Elf 3, we only have 2 Telly, we only have 2 Blink, so if I get teleported into the End Vault, that's quite bad. So we are going to do our level best not to Stair Dance, because getting teleported would be a bad time. And this is why this is superior to Ebering's dumbass Explore Trap idea, because I have control over whether I get teleported or not. I know that Bcrawl is not simply going to send me into the End Vault unless I perform some misdeeds, like trying to go upstairs with enemies around, or trying to Stair Dance, period. Right, this guy has a Wand of Clouds. He's gonna be too hard to beat without using resources, so we use Lamp of Fire, and holy shit, man, we just we just obliterated him from full HP to nothing with 1 lamp. He got double hit. God, that feels good. Bye-bye, Donald. Oh yeah, infinite, well, not infinite Arpoise, but yeah, Arpoise Plus, as you say. I forgot that you get Arpoise. It's just really good. Like in the early game, it just kind of makes you really strong. It just solves a lot of early game problems, and I love, the thing I love about Lignification is the fact that there are downsides. So if you use it wrong, you're in for punishment, I'm gonna meet up with you on the 6th. Well, no, probably not. I'm not leaving the comfort of my home. Call me when something substantial happens, rather than boomers in trucks raising their voices a bit. And perhaps then I might be taking it seriously, I just don't understand what these people think that they're going to accomplish, is what I'm saying. Gamers, we are the future. Talking about the people protesting the election. Like, I mean, because this is going on YouTube later, I can't, by their policy, I actually can't talk about some of my feelings on the matter. Certain political opinions are now verboten, even more so than before. But basically, I don't know, I've never understood the point of protesting anything. Visit the Hall of Blades? Yeah, I probably should. Oh wait, this is the exact kind of character that wants to do that, huh? I got too caught up in making my kill hole that... Oh man. Lamp of Fire's not ready yet. Be upset when I see Lajatong? Well, I mean, I'd like to have a Lajatong. Why would I be upset? Oh, I'm Gozag. You're trolling me, I see. Yeah, it's going to turn straight into gold. I don't think there's... is there anything in the rules that stops me from abandoning temporarily? Probably. Wow, that just went straight through my elemental. On the scatter shot, it's too dangerous. The re-entrance fee would hurt too. It sure would. But yeah, I think the crawl cosplay rules say that you're not allowed to not allowed to leave your god. Temp abandoning Gozag isn't a thing that you can do. If I had enough gold lying around, I could, but it would be pretty goofy. I'm lucky that there hasn't been too many elementalists here. Okay. Outside of the banishment chance, it is totally safe for me to melee this until I go below 60 HP, or he hastes. I don't like the fact that I can be banished here. It's going to be more annoying than anything, but... Well, the problem is that if I get banished, I only have 3. I only have 3 rations, so going into the abyss right now would be pretty horrid because I cannot make shops in there. That's one of the reasons I haven't cast regen, Mr. Ostrom, because I really wanted to get the damage in. Although I just cast it. Another one. God, I wish I had MR. I mean, it's weird. I'm actually tempted to scattershot here just to make sure they die before I get sent to the abyss. Maybe I should just go ahead and make the shop. Yeah, let's go ahead and make the shop. Even though there's an antique weapon shop. God, look at that food emporium. Super expensive. I just can't bear the chance of starving to death in the abyss. That would be dumb as hell. So we're not going to let it happen. Our gold now exists strictly to get shops. Alright, so that's Wormbane. Technically, with cross-training, we could use that. There is actually a Logitong of Distortion right there. Wormbane would be a little silly because it's not two-handed, but man, the RF plus, the RC plus, the AC plus 3 would be kind of cool. The R poise. We're probably going to use the Logitong though, because I already have all the RC I need. The RF would be nice and the AC would be nice, but yeah, we're going to use brand weapon on the Logitong for sure. Nice blast. Just ruining my kill hole. That's okay. Deep Elf Master Archer not screwing around today. Wait a minute, hold on, let me this very clever blinking mage has to die. They took banish off, yeah. Oh hey, we're done training things. Just train some fighting and armor. Certainly gonna want it with this plus 10 plate mail. I can't believe Wormbane spawned. That's so wild, man. But BH Auth is multiple people. He's that's just how it works, man. Oh man, it's blinking him. I need to rebrand that, but I don't have it on me. Oh, this is this is a lot of damage possible. Let me just okay, that works. It bounced. Very interesting. I guess I can't complain. That's kind of the ideal thing that could have happened there. Oh my, hello. Hello, you have encountered a dangerous foe. Yes, I have. I don't... Oh, hi, Mara. Oh, hi, Mark. Okay, we have +7 Lajitong. Flaming Lajitong. That'll do for now, I think. I don't want to buy the brand weapon because I could get... or I don't want to use the brand weapon. I'll go ahead and buy it, I guess. Actually, I'm just going to probably leave it here. Well, we can drop some crap. Drop this stupid thing. I don't know why I picked it up, actually. I guess maybe Bcrawl's having me automatically pick up artifacts. Could kill Hydras with it. Well, that's going to be less useful in Zot and things like that, but for the moment it's really good damage, so I'll take it. Being able to kill things faster is going to be pretty sick. Looks like I've already got Mendeley, so we will not be training anymore staves. Zot Hydras, that sounds pretty cool, actually. Do we have lamp? Nope, no lamp today. How about we kill hole this a little harder than we currently are? Lajatongs are a really good weapon, by the way. It increases my damage and my chance to hit. And so, as a result, we probably will train more at some point, but not just yet. Particularly since our apt is +1, yeah. So, we can get a significant amount of AC still from training armor. And my fighting is only 15, so it saves us 20. Try to keep those relatively even if my fighting apt is only 0. Getting a little, I guess I'm playing a little reckless right now. Getting a little too excited. I can still take like 100 damage from this Annihilator, so I should be a little more careful. Should be a Chaos style, like Simulacra or Zombie. Chaos Armored Hydra. Yeah, like what do they call those in D&D? Templates. You can apply a template to a monster, and it's really interesting. Oh boy, Mara spawned with crystal plate armor. Yeah, Bcrawl has a lot of cool ideas that seem to have been inspired by D&D, which is one of the reasons I'd really like to play that fork at some point in the near future. Crystal plate. We're not going to wear the crystal plate. He's a Marad. Ha 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 ha. You know, if we had enough enchant armor, it would be superior to this plate mail comically. Take off this dumb +10 plate. Hell yeah. What a worthless armor. It's no good. Okay, I'm not going to have Wands of Flame anymore. My inventory is getting too ugly. Whoa, hello, baby. What up, girl? +5 boots, that's outrageous. With +6 intelligence and RC? That is dummy thick. Yeah, man. I'm just gonna auto-explore a bunch. Hold up. That +7 hunting sling of speed's kind of cute. Yeah, when I put my boots on, I feel smarter. You know what? Let's drop this mace. Let's keep this ring as the Synv swap if we need such a thing. Wormbane. Can't get over that. That's hilarious. Staff of Cold. Yeah, thank you for reminding me I was still toting that around. Alrighty, well this was a very satisfying elf. We have become just outrageously stronger. MR Plus is still a problem though, which is, well, hold on. Golden eyes, yeah, golden eyes still have confusion gaze. Gross, man. I really want to do slime, but my lack of MR makes it impossible to do safely. Boo. Okay, Hollow Blaze is mentioned. I mean, I could do that just for gold, but... like, I'm not going to be able to get a weapon there. And there's not going to be any loot that's not weapons there. I think maybe it might be possible for something that's not a weapon to spawn there. Gold is gold. Well, the problem is that in Bcrawl, every time I attack, I'm using up food more than in mainline, so I'm not sure if I'm getting as much out of it as I'm putting in. Wow, that is Saint Roka. What's up, buddy? Oh, whoops. That's a chance of paralyze. I'm out of my mind. Well, I mean, this is in the way for now, but... yeah, doesn't he? I was not being very conscientious about that. I tell you, I'm very rusty when it comes to giving a shit about hunger. Like, this is a new experience for me. And so all of the old things that come into play there, like not walking to a bunch of places over and over. But yeah, no, I used up some food there. It was bad. Basically, I went back because I... hey, there actually is a Lejatong here. I went back because there was a shop with rations that I made that I had forgotten that I hadn't finished buying everything in it. So ultimately, it was worth it to go back again. But yeah, I think we're getting enough gold that this is worth. Yeah. Should probably not be relying on the tab key. For some reason, tabbing really likes to make you kill things, the summons before the caster. So try not to tab around a summoner. Let's see, I could buy that chainmail. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to stick with my plate. Also, let's turn enchant weapon back on for pickup so I don't miss anything. Okay, so we got depths, we got slime, we got crypt. Crypt is looking okay. We have full-on RN+. There is a loot pile at the end. We have to do crypt at some point anyway because we have to go to tomb. So we'll just do that real quick, I guess. What the hell's going on here? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, crypt is only 2 floors. I was thinking maybe it was only 1 floor. But look at the ground. I haven't seen those tiles before, I don't think. Those look like volcano tiles almost. That's a vault. It looks cool. Hey, Senshi! Appreciate that, man.
Twitch Prime baby.
Yeah, baby. Thanks, man. I do like money. If you guys sub to me, it does put a smile on my face. I think maybe I've seen this in crypt before, but it must be rare or something. Seen it in dungeon. But it looks cool next to the crypt tiles. I like the color scheme. It fits in here better than maybe you might expect. Hello. Alright, we've learned this trick still works in Bcrawl, so... He can't really send anything at you that does a ton of damage. You have to be careful because being a tree does not protect you from being flayed. But it does protect you from being tormented, so... That vault is where Zom is going to fire his missiles. Yeah, I guess it is like a big target. Vampire Knight. No, no, no. Not the paralyzed, breh. See, I'm less afraid of paralyzed than I normally would be. We actually got paralyzed there, but with nearly 50 AC. What the fuck? Alright, so that wacky thing that I said earlier about being immune to agony if you have full RN, yeah, that was a lie. That's not the case at all. Because I just got agonied, which is why my HP just took a big poop. You are, I believe, resistant to it in the same way that you're resistant to torment. So instead of 50%, you're taking like 35 or 40 at full RN, if I had to guess. So essentially it's just a torment effect if it gets past your MR. I tell you, this is like night and day, though. We sure are killing things quickly. Hello. Hey, buddy. God, do I lignify here? Fucking Khufu. Yeah, the game just like senses when I'm like, yeah, we're doing well. And it just punishes me. Huh. My AC drops significantly if I go into tree form here. The Zhongxis can do a good bit of damage to me. Yeah, I guess it's nice that I won't see Khufu in the actual tomb, but I would have rather had to deal with him there, to be honest. Okay. Okay, okay. I think it's good to lignify here. Do we have cancel? We have 5 cancel. Okay. I mean, why do I care about ensnare? It's just a net, isn't it? Guess I should have looked that up. Yeah, it's just web. Because he wasn't enough of a tremendous asshole before. Indeed. Well, speaking of being an asshole, his death curse has summoned something that I can't attack because I'm a tree. So we're going to need to do this and fail. I don't want to burn my cancel if I could avoid it. Those are a rare and powerful resource. Oh god, I think I'm gonna have to. Well, I don't know, man. There's another fucking greater mummy. Hey, Gary Burton, what's up, man? Your fork has given me a hard time today. I have to say it's a fun and exciting time. Why are there so many G mummies? This is a vault that spawns three G mummies. I believe it's 3 and Khufu. It's not a fun time, but I cannot blame Gary Burton for that because that is a mainline thing. Yeah, this is considered the bottom floor in Bcrawl. Okay, that worked out. Wait a minute, what am I doing? Oh, you guys. I didn't cast regen. Are you joking? That would have been pretty good throughout this whole fight. Perhaps the best thing that I could have done. No, I'm more impressed than anything with some of the stuff that you've done with this fork. Like, some of the choices that you've made to make certain enemies harder, like giving water nymphs primal wave, is like, it's like vaguely cruel, but in a way that I think is ultimately fair due to the point in the game where you encounter them. Like, it really makes the player think. Like right now I'm thinking I'm getting my ass kicked. I have to burn a blink. I hate the fact that I have to burn a blink, but I do. Why are liches more dangerous? What happened to them? They have more, I see they have a lot of damage spells. This looks like the same as before, actually. Spell sets are reworked. Well, I've been failing to get MR this game, so I'm pretty happy if they don't have Paralyze. We're good on resists. We're bad on MR. We're good on elemental resists, I should say. Don't want to let him get within casting range of me. God, I hate the fact that I had to use a blink. Not enough, Senshi. Not enough for me to just, like, not find MR and, be happy about it. Just use Ice Form. Oh, Ice Form gives MR now? Actually, according to the challenge that I'm doing, I'm not allowed to use more than one spell, which I've already chosen as regen. I like that there's a form that gives MR now, though, for what it's worth. Hey, Gary Burton, what is the thinking behind making Call Merchant based on turn count? Wasn't it kind of self-policing before, the fact that it increased every time you used it? It's a matter of how bad it is to get a useless shop. Oh, so you intended that to be a buff. Interesting, I wasn't thinking about it that way. I guess maybe it is a buff. Depending on how many useless shops you get, I guess. It's a late game. Well, that's the terms I was thinking about it in. I suppose for this character it probably is helping me more than it's hurting me. I mean, well, it's a buff to people who want to cast like a lot of shops. If you only want to do a couple shops, it's a nerf for those people. So I think that's probably why I was finding myself annoyed by it, because with my playstyle I usually try to make as few shops as possible. I see Gozag as a god where in your ideal scenario you're not really making any shops, you're just using bribe, you're using potion petition, and those are his true strengths. The shops are basically the cherry on top of a very powerful god. If you need food shops or you're an octopod looking for rings, it's a buff. Yeah, well, in your fork in particular, I think that makes sense. Because of the fact that melee is more food costly now, so being able to summon a ton of food shops is kind of crucial, I have found. So while I was complaining about that earlier, I think upon further reflection it might make sense. Although, I mean, this is probably the first game I've had where food was becoming a real issue, and a lot of it is because for much of the game I was, due to the rules of my conduct, I was forced into using a subpar weapon. And even now I'm using a weapon that could be, you know, could be higher base damage, but isn't, because I have to use a staff, essentially. The Lajah Tongue, there's a buff? I didn't know there was one. How did you change it? Is that higher base damage than it used to be? I don't feel overpowered. I feel strong, but I feel like I'd be better off with like a different weapon. Oh, you increase min delay, I see. No, I don't think that's overpowered. I think that's legit. I think that Lajah Tongue is such an underused weapon, even though it's pretty good already. I think a small buff is fine. Honestly, you could do almost anything to two-handed weapons to buff them, and they would still be subpar. Like, I know that you've already gone through some significant effort to nerf shields, but I tell you, I would still, in Bcrawl, even with every single nerf you've done to them, I would still use a shield 100% of the time if I was playing optimally. Lajah Tongue used to be the meta before everyone realized shields are crazy. I don't understand how people took so long to realize how good shields are. I mean, almost immediately when I started streaking, I feel like I figured that out. Like, I went through a period where I was like, oh, the best thing in the game is ranged. You know, I just use a bow every single game and play Oka. That's the meta. Like my first streak series where I was playing a shitload of centaurs and deep dwarves and shit. I was just like a total madman and thought that like the best thing to do was just to go ranged every single game and go Oka. And it was like, it works pretty well, but it's nothing compared to having like a broad axe and a shield on most characters, you know? And Oka's like really, really great, but doesn't really offer you any defensive power. And it's just funny how like playing the game more kind of changed my view entirely. Oka a longbow is good on anyone. Anybody who can use a longbow, yeah. Wouldn't do it on like a Spriggan, you know, because you'd be cucked into using a shortbow forever. Yes, probably if I had to go back to the range strategy today, I think I would have to agree with Gary Burton that you would rather go for sling plus shield, just because shields are so outrageous. Although, I don't know, man. Like, it's a reliable way to win, but I feel like I would find that tiring now because of the fact that slings don't do as much damage as broad axes. The thing about the broad axe that really, broad axe plus shield combo that really, really solidifies how good it is at streaking is because at some point during your streak, probably multiple times, in the mid game, the late game, especially the mid game, you are going to run into something like a guardian serpent, and then your ass is going to be completely surrounded by people who are just like, you know, ruining your life. But if you have the axe, you know, you can just swing a couple times and everything is dead. Fusties are 13 base damage. Oh, don't get me wrong. Fusties, even in mainline, Fusties have great base damage. It's impossible to compete with an axe in a situation where you are forced to fight multiple things. It's not possible because they hit, you know, it's literally a multiple of how good every other weapon can be because it's hitting more than one thing at once. And I always think it's funny how, you know, dopes like Gamafunk and other crawl devs will often say things like, well, just fight in a hallway, bro. Well, that's not always an option, you know? It's like how Ebering's Foxfire spell, it's like, oh, bro, just stay out of hallways. Well, sometimes that's not an option. You know, like this is a game that requires you to be able to have a character that can, you know, win in a variety of situations. I'll get 13 axes on a ranged character with Oka. Oh. Well, why did you build a ranged character with Oka? Oh, you're being serious. Yeah, I don't know. It's like you really love these hybrid characters that train multiple things, multiple weapons and spells at the same time. But personally, I've always found that like specializing is really the key. Irradiate, though, I totally understand. It's just so good. They nerfed that in mainline, by the way. Took away a lot of the its consistency by they actually buffed it by 10 damage, and then they messed with the dice to where there's like different roll now, and it doesn't ignore AC anymore. So basically no fun allowed. Oh, okay. Yeah, with that cosplay, okay, I get why you would do that then. Okie dokie. Oh god, what are we doing with this character? Into vaults or slime, and both really want me to have MR, and we just don't have MR. I am completely shocked that that Gozag has not bailed us out by now. Really, really surprising. Okay, I have 11 curing. We're gonna make a real risky play, basically. And we're gonna go into slime. I also need to watch out for Great Orb of Eyes, because they can para me. Is this the end? Could be. Now this is not the optimal thing to do. The actual optimal thing to do here, shit, 20 corrosion. The actual optimal thing to do here is to roll into depths, find the abyss portal, and just chill out in abyss for a while, gathering gold. Who needs regen, bro? No, you're right, I should have cast that. Did I not wait out my corrosion? Jesus, I am a madman. Hello. Alright, so the paralyzed is a problem here, but these things will not merge. Oh, they have confused too, don't they? God damn it. Alright, but that's okay, I'm on the staircase, so... Hey, listen, it's hard to remember to cast my only spell. Okay. Yeah, this isn't a disto weapon anymore. We rebranded it. We actually have another brand weapon, but I'm not using it because flame is pretty legit for this part of the game. Macro? I don't use a macro. That's probably part of the reason why I forget. I straight up just do Z, D. Roll Vamp. Vamp would be pretty okay actually. I wouldn't hate Vamp. What I would really hate is if I got Poison, although Poison wouldn't be as bad as it is in mainline because I believe that Bcrawl doesn't have a cap on the amount of poison that you can cause. So I could do some pretty ugly things with that. Poison cap, pretty based. Okay, let's try to do this without. God damn it! I didn't want to go up because of teleport, but now I have to. It's just too much stuff coming. Guess I could have gone invis. That could have been nice. Holy shit! That font, that bot font. Hold on, let me ban this guy. Want to talk about the 100 damage ghost that would have killed you 1v1? I like that change. I mean, I found out, okay, Gary Burton, I found out that you raised the cap on ghost damage, and there was a ghost that had 100 base damage and then also had Iron Shot for almost 100 damage, and basically I failed to appreciate that because I didn't even notice. Did that because of Death Manos? Why Death Manos? What does that have to do with it? Death Manos, what? Did you not change the tooltips? Shadow Set makes a player ghost. Well, that's super duper fucking cool. What a good idea. That's really rad, man. I mean, I don't think it's optimal still, but you've managed to make me interested in playing Death Manos, so I mean, that's really something since that's a god that I've historically just really disliked. I mean, really, that's the coolest idea I've heard in Crawl for a long time. Careful with glaciate characters, well, you can't pick, right? So it's an interesting bit of RNG. Remember how I said I'm doing this without MR and it's really dangerous? Hey, we got teleported. Okay. Uh-oh, Lords of Pandemonium are watching you. Well, the challenge does not force me to go to Pan, so we're not going to go there today. It'd make a ghost of you. Yeah, okay. I guess I was thinking it summons a random ghost. Instead it summons a duplicate. Is that right, Gary Burton? Pan could contain items. Well, it's true, but it's not worth it. I could go to Abyss for that. Ghost of you at your original position, I see. Maybe there should be an ability that summons a randomized ghost, though. Maybe not for Death Manos, but for something else. Hmm. 8 corrosion, huh? Gosh, this is obnoxious. Great lamp action here. I don't think that exists in Honey Badger. I'd really not like to get the temp mutes. Okay, we're gonna Cloud Wand over here. Acid's okay. These guys are actually not immune to acid, so that's great. I almost wish that this was the old style Shining Eye. Hello, hello Titanic Slime friend. Okay, we're gonna try to bounce him back. And for once we succeed. We're gonna lightning here, preparing to zap again and do extra damage. I managed to kill him before he pulses me, so that's great. Man, this teleport has been real spicy. Time to switch to Jivia. Would actually be a fun pivot for the character if it was allowed under the contest rules. Technically, it's probably optimal for me to auto, or rather full explore this place. God damn it. Oh no. Oh no. I wonder. I can't do that. Let's try to lightning rod. Can I do this? Okay, I can do this. We'll just let my boy here deal with the problem. Come on, Fido. Yeah, self-tele. Yeah, I noticed you gave them self-tele. That was very kind of you. It's probably a good choice. But yeah, the complete and total lack of MR is, it's painful, man. it's hard. Because, like, just with my base MR, that's like 46% chance to para. Just an impressive amount of percent chance there. Or not para, confuse. Which can be worse than para in some ways. Oh, there's more gold. What's my plan for TRJ? I hadn't really thought about it. I was going to clear the path and then think about it, because I knew I could, barring really bad luck, I could make it down. May actually be farming for gold. We may have to, based on the rules of the challenge. I do need to have 10,000 gold when I leave the place. There's no torment scrolls, or I might consider it. We have MO. Oh, I'll just do it the normal way. I have scrolls of summoning, and I have 11 nets. So, wait, did you take away nets? did you take away my precious net strategy? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fair. I know. I mean, it doesn't make sense that a net works on a jelly anyway, but no, I mean, I've done this in Bcrawl before, it's just been a while. Let's full clear this floor, so I have a nice, clean landing area, basically. Water elemental's gonna get wet by spiders. Maybe I can reach in it to death. Maybe. Oh, shit. Okay, we're gonna need to use some resources. There we go. Alright, so what am I actually gonna do about that? We're gonna use Vuln Scroll. We have evocations of 15. That is sufficient, so we're going to Vuln Para. We have 30 charges of Para, so that's the strategy. I could also poly it if I felt like it, but Para's safer, since I could get, like, TRJ, the Shard Shrike, which I really would not like to deal with today. Oh shit, I didn't... Ah, fuck. I just AA'd. I didn't mean to AA. Piss. I meant to summon a shop of food. I guess I'll take the might and agility and we'll just use it for the next floor. Call merchant food. I've seen TRJ Shard Shrike. It's not fun. By the way, we have Undead Hunter, apparently. So that's going to be, you know, I may actually use that in Tomb. That's so sick. So we always rebind Gozag abilities. Gosh, I'll do that right now for Potion Petition. Just because double tapping, double slamming the A key can really screw you. God, I'm out of gold. I'm almost never this low on gold. Glad I didn't get paralyzed there. Give me... Oh wait, I have our core up still. Okay. I've been swapping my arc core with my AC ring a bit. Just trying to... Oh wait, I have resist up. What am I doing? Let's get that AC back on. As in resist potion. Hello! Hello, dickhead. No para for me today. From that floating eye. Oh man, TRJ's... he's already here. Okay. Made a good bit of noise, I suppose. Did I notice the wand damage info? What now? Nope. What are you talking about? I noticed you ported the spell damage change in, which is good. Inventory, wand item. Well, that's clouds. Well, I don't know what you want me to do here. It's not showing me. Oh wait, 3d18. Okay, so it shows if it's a direct damage thing. Well, that's pretty cool. So that changes, I assume, with your evocations and updates. I wish that it showed it for things like Scattershot, but I know that the formulas are kind of wonk for those. It'd be kind of hard to display cleanly. Yeah, I've actually seen the Scattershot code. It's ugly as hell. Disintegrate used to blow up walls in an ancient version of Crawl and has not for some time and does not in Bcrawl. However, in Bcrawl it does something super fun, which is explodes monsters. Okay, I'm gonna burn Haste. I'm gonna burn Vuln. Oh, I probably should. Well, no, we're gonna para him. Come on, man. Doesn't want to do it for me, huh? There we go. So he's parried. We have a little while. I really shouldn't have done this out in the open, to be honest with you, but we'll make it work. Because what we'll do is, yeah, summoning now would be the right choice. I should have done this in the hallway. I got greedy, basically. Because what I want to do is... Yeah, I did this all kinds of wrong. I'm rusty. I should have agied first. I should have used might first. Like, we can use all that now, but it's just goofy. Resistance. Yeah, this is all kinds of wrong. We'll use summon a couple times. Kill him really fast. And then read Telly. Okay, this is fine. We should be able to walk away from this stuff due to the haste, which has run out, but that's okay. Yeah, I could have emoed there, but it was not the right choice because my HP, I was having HP problems. Yeah, that was done wrong, though. That totally should have been in the hallway. Explosion party, sorry. I think I've been streaming a little too long, so I'm like sleepy. Oh, interesting news. I might be increasing the length of my streak in mainline at some point soon. Man asked me to do at least a 10 streak for the tournament. Okay, and basically the guy that I robbed the world record from has been pushing to get it back, I assume. He's up to 34 wins, so congrats to him. That's roughly the length of his old streak. I'm not particularly impressed with it, unfortunately, because like more than half of these are really, really easy combos that he kind of farmed up, like centaurs and stuff. But nevertheless, I want to maintain the record. I just wish. I mean, he even like copied Gargoyle Fighter. I'm not sure why he did this, because like the dude is definitely a good enough player to do difficult combos. So it just, to me, it looks like he's like farming up the easiest wins possible. No, he still plays sometimes. You can't really talk to him though, because well, you can, but not while he's playing the game, because he plays on he actually plays without tiles, and so there's no tiles chat. Does he stream or anything? I've never actually had a conversation with him. All I know is that he's good at the game. But yeah, that's the one disappointing thing really about streaking in DCSS, is there's no actual rules to it. You could streak like 1,000 DD5s in a row if you wanted to. It'd be super, super easy. I mean, I guess people wouldn't take it seriously, but I mean, it's like, it's almost like just a stroke of luck that nobody has done that. And in fact, when I first started streaking, I was doing something very similar to that. Hey, wow, that's Leech. But I mean, ultimately, it's like sort of surprising. I know Kunix did like 2 different 39 streaks of TD5s, which must have been totally speaking from experience as having done something similar to that, like must have been completely mind-numbing. And I'm sure he just through like being tired of playing that combo, I'm sure that's why he ended up losing them. 1,000 demon spawn wanderer streak. Wanderer is a better start than people give it credit for, but it'll eventually screw you if you play that many of them. Oftentimes you can get a ranged weapon on Wanderer, which means the game is virtually set. I can just duke it out with this guy. But yeah, I guess I'm just like surprised that the guy who did such a challenging streak in the first place, the one that I modeled my streak after at first, made his like return combos that are not challenging. I kind of understand doing a bunch of centaurs even though they're super easy, just because the species was going away, but I mean, if you look at my first 34 wins, those are actually, I mean, that was his streak before, up until about God, where is it? The spin. It's the first 30, 34, actually more than that, 40 something wins. So I guess it would be close. There it is. So this stuff, he didn't win. He lost on the spin. So all of this, I mean, there are some reasonably easy combos in here for sure. I think I counted, and like something like, I mean, again, this is all subjective, like it's all opinion based, but by my own standards, I would say a little bit less than half of these are trivial combos, meaning that like more like I don't know if I would say significantly more than half, but more than half of them are non-trivial. So maybe like 34-ish of them are difficult. But if you look at just the ones, like forget the part where I started choosing my own combos, these are pretty tough, man. Like even Tengu Conjurer, where it starts out, that's a good combo in terms of, yeah, you've got good Conjurer apt, but Tengu is like a terrible ass race, bad HP, has a racial ability that doesn't really kick in for a while with the swiftness. Once you have it, you're fine, but your early game is hell. I did Gargoyle Berserker, not GR5. Well, I didn't do 2 Gargoyle Berserkers in a row. Also, is there a GRB in here? Oh, yeah, there is. Well, that's part of his original streak. Yeah, the lack of armor slots is a problem too, but I'm talking about just like, usually if I'm concerned about a race or a species sucking, it's usually the first 5 floors where I'm really concerned. And the only exceptions are really things like Demigod, where you can so easily screw yourself due to the lack of experience. But I mean, yeah, there's a lot of really challenging things in here. Like the Octopode Monk requires a lot of skill to win. Any Chaos Knight, even though it's a Minotaur, is going to be like possibly an issue. Like even though that's a fighter, like Vine Stalkers are pretty challenging in general. There's just, for some reason, I think Scalds were being revamped, so we played a bunch of Scalds, and like I remember that was like hellish for me to streak through because Scalds are just really painful. One of the worst classes in my opinion. Is this another cosplaying run? Yeah, this is the same one as before. This is Joseph. So basically, we are only allowed to train staves and slings and fighting as our weapon skills, which has created a very interesting situation where for a while we were stuck using a dire flail. We weren't allowed to train it, but we could use it. So we were getting cross-training off of it. Finally, we have a Lajatang, so... I don't like how goddamn nerfed Vine Stalkers are from their original implementation. I didn't even realize exactly how bad they had gotten the nerf stick until I had a conversation with blokes about it. Wow, plus 11 penetration arbalest, that's so sick. Can't really use it, but... What's my amulet? Spirit Shield, Aralek, RN++, I mean, strength -5, but that's... There's too many good resists on there to be giving up. Also, we already have regen from plate. I did notice that the regen seemed to be giving me more HP, but I didn't say anything about it. Did you buff that? I see from the plate I have 0.83 per turn. If I take it off... Oh wow, it's like, that doubled my regen. Amulet regen is different. It's mana times 0.03 per turn. Why tie it to mana? I guess that makes a tactical choice or something. If you happen to know that's how it works. Interesting strategically. Yeah, I can get behind that. Scales properly, yeah. Well, I mean, I would certainly agree that it needed a buff. Amulet regen was just not worth using really on anybody who wasn't, well, maybe a mummy. Although it is better now that now that regen is no longer a spell in mainline. But in a version of the game that still has regen spell, you would really need to buff amulet. So I can get behind that change. And as always, I'm gonna laud any change that gives the player something to think about. All right, what do we find here? But yeah, I'm not using that amulet because we don't have any other source of our elect that's worth using. 200 HP. Yeah, we do have 200 HP on a human too. A lot of fighting training today. We'll probably do Vaults 3 next, or maybe Depths. Mazanaka says, would you even be able to lose a game of DCSS without using some sorts of restrictions? Yeah. So, absolutely. In the early game, if really bad luck happens to be in mainline, like shafting, the right situation happens, I could die regardless of anything depending on the combo. If you have me playing like let's see, a generic shitty combo, let's say I'm like a human monk, and I take a step, and this can happen in mainline, I take a step, I open a door, boom, I'm shafted from D1 to D2, and then I take another step, and I'm shafted to D3, and then, you know, a priest could just zap me with smite and kill me, which is one of the reasons why I think shafts are fucking stupid. So, well, in the early game anyway. So sheer bad luck could get me in the early game. And then as far as, like, outside of just sheer bad luck, I think that's what you're really asking. Like, is there a way for me to lose my streak? And absolutely. I mean, you know, the server Akrasiak is actually, I found out, I mean, this was a while ago that I found out, but that's a word, Akrasiak, and I looked it up because it was like interesting. It's called akrasia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, which is really, it's a Greek word actually. Let me look up. Let me find the definition. It's described as a lack of self-control or the state of acting against one's better judgment. Adjective form is acratic. So the reason I bring that up, and the reason I assume why that server is named what it is because crawl is just the right length, arguably too long, but it's certainly a minimum length to make you make mistakes. You play crawl, yeah, exactly. It's an example of Akrasia is actually playing this fucking game at all. But the point is that like you play this game, and eventually you get in kind of a routine where you have a good character, you're winning, okay, fine, and then one little mistake, just one, you make one little choice against your better interests because you got too comfortable or whatever. One little mistake like that, boom. You lose your character. So could that happen to me? Absolutely. I've done all kinds of dumbass things on my streak. Ass doesn't he? He was here for a lot of it. I'm sure I blew his mind with some of the goofy things I did. So could I lose? Yeah. I don't think it's likely, because part of the reasons why I streamed my whole streak is because that stuff is minimized because I have an audience and because I talk my way through what I'm doing. However, during the last tournament I took serious participation in, I would have had like a 26 or whatever the maximum is streak, except for the fact that I wasn't streaming because I didn't feel like being social, I guess. And you know what? I lost my streak, not my main streak, not my world record streak, that's still going, but my tournament streak. I lost it on a fucking like I think it was a gargoyle fighter or something, because I tabbed into a Titanic slime. And I just like hell, I was just holding the key, and you know, it didn't matter that I had my RC file set to stop me at like 90% HP because gargoyles don't have that much HP, and Titanic slime, well, is formed up obviously from the other ones, and I guess I didn't have my RC file set to do a force more when it turns into a Titanic slime. And so I just immediately took like, he probably put me like right on the threshold of my force more for the HP, and then did like full ass maximum damage and just killed me. But that would probably never would have happened on stream because I would be taking things slower, you know. Anyway, yeah, I do find it interesting that Kirky was a badass the last time we saw her, and now she's just a little hippogriff. How do you go from being an iron dragon to being a hippogriff? Just killed her in one hit. She turned into a bee lady and then just died. But yeah, Mazanok, it's really not, it's not an uncommon story for people to spend years playing this game and not get their first win. Because a lot of it, it's just funny because like it has almost nothing to do with like how smart or how skilled you are. It has almost everything to do with patience. just like playing slowly enough and recognizing like the threats or whatever. And slowing down when appropriate, you know, when you would die if you don't slow down, you know. Wait until you hear about driving, Gary Burton says. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I've been streaming for a good little while. I am a bit tired of DCSS at the moment. Special thanks to Gary Burton for showing up in the stream, by the way. He's the guy, in case that's not obvious from what I've been saying, he's the guy who made the fork that I'm playing. Very friendly person, and if you have any suggestions for the game, I'm sure he'll hear you out. I'm probably going to call it a night. I might hop on if I decide to stay up much later. I might hop on and do some FTL or something. But I think I'm done. Good with DCSS for the night. I had hopes of finishing this run this session, but it just took longer than I thought it would. However, the character is coming together. We've got really good skills at this point. I might take evocations to 27 on this guy, honestly. Like the +2 aptitude really is tempting. There's a Bcrawl Discord. I'll have to join that. I didn't know that existed. Thank you for linking that, Mr. Ostrom. Anyway, yeah, that's going to be it for the night as far as DCSS is concerned. I hope you guys enjoyed. Till next time, I'm signing out. Did you know that there are many ways that you can help support this channel? Read about them on rosecrypto.com/support. At Rose Crypto, you can learn all about cool things like the Brave web browser, Bitcoin, and other cryptocurrencies. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.